Now at 10, prosecutors charged 2 men with second-degree murder for their role in last week's mass shooting in Kansas City. Plus, students in liberal Missouri learn a sobering lesson about impaired driving. And twin teachers at Joplin Elementary School District have students and staff doing a double take.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities charged 2 more suspects in connection with the Kansas City Victory Rally shooting. This time it's adults and the charge is murder. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. The 2 suspects are Lindell Mays of Raytown and Dominic M. Miller of Kansas City. We do not yet have Miller's mugshot. Authorities say the 2 men have been hospitalized since the shooting that killed 1 woman and injured 22 others. But investigators did not say whether the men had gunshot wounds or other injuries. They each face a second-degree murder charge, among other charges. Investigators believe the men did not know each other before the shooting. Charging documents say there was an altercation between the suspects, who were both armed, and that it was Miller who fired the fatal shot that killed the woman, Lopez Galvin. Those suspects are in addition to 2 juveniles arrested on gun-related and resisting arrest charges.
We seek to hold every shooter accountable for their actions on that day. Every single one. So while we're not there yet on every single individual, we're going to get there.
I am grateful that the Jackson County Prosecutor's Office has charged them with various felonies as consequences of their reckless actions. The Prosecutor's Office has my full confidence in the handling and prosecution of this case.
I'll say very briefly that lawlessness and criminality will never be tolerated in Kansas City.
The suspects are being held on $1 million bond. Authorities say more charges are possible. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at the weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be another nice one for us today. Temperature is fantastic. Look at our highs pushing 70 degrees, 69, the record 78, normal highs 52 degrees, so good chunk above where we should be for this time of the year. We're going to have another mild one as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. Southeasterly winds, temperatures, most of us are kind of hovering into the mid 50s. We'll only drop back into the upper 40s a little bit later on tonight. Southerly wind kind of keeping our temp up just a little bit, and these are going to kind of pick up for us a bit tomorrow. So it is going to be breezy on your Wednesday. It's going to be breezy on your Thursday as well. Clear skies. We are going to get some mid and upper level clouds starting to increase later on tonight with our next storm system, which is building the western third of the country. And this is going to give us some scattered thunderstorms by tomorrow night. Of course, we're going to break that down for you here in just a bit.
See you soon. The Parsons, Kansas Police Department today held a discussion on the challenges facing local law enforcement. They were joined by Congressman Jake LaTurner. Parsons Police Chief Robert Spinks also gave LaTurner a tour of the site of a proposed public safety center. City officials hope LaTurner can help them secure partial funding to build the cutting-edge facility.
Law enforcement is stepping up to the plate. This center will be helpful with recruitment for new officers, new folks going into the fire department as well. And so I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to learn more. I'm glad to be a part of it.
The proposed public safety center would create a centralized location for both Parsons Police and fire departments. Parsons PD also broke new virtual ground today with a cutting-edge training simulator. Officer Tyler White became the first officer to test that simulator. The police department hopes the high-tech tool will enhance officer skills and readiness on the job.
Purchased a use of force simulator, and so firsthand I saw the value of being able to take whatever training an officer brings and then putting them in a somewhat stressful situation and giving them an opportunity to figure out what's the right level of force, how do you de-escalate force, how do you talk.
The department used a federal grant to buy that simulator. Students at Liberal High School in Missouri got a chance to get behind the wheel and simulate impaired driving. The Arrive Alive tour made a stop in Liberal to show students how difficult it is to drive while impaired. This is the first time the tour has stopped at Liberal High School.
It overcorrected a lot, so if I went a little bit left, it would go super far left, and then it was just hard to know which way I was going and how much to move the steering wheel and how fast to go and stuff.
The simulation is funded through grants with no cost to the school. Reagan and Madison Fowler are elementary school teachers in the Joplin School District. Not only are the two sisters, but they're also twins. Despite not actually being identical, the resemblance, as you see, is uncanny. The two are Missouri Southern graduates. They took all the same classes, and they say they've even switched places back in high school to prank their teachers.
It's not like we don't hold things against each other. We're able to separate our minds from each other and just think, okay, this is okay. We're different in some ways. So, and I think that makes it special.
My mom would always say, when our sisters would say something like, the twins are ganging up on us, like I mentioned earlier, I would try to say, it's not that we're ganging up on you, it's just Maddie is my teammate.
Reagan now teaches kindergarten at Royal Heights Elementary. Madison teaches second grade at Jefferson Elementary. It was all business for Allen Community College students today in Iola, Kansas. The school hosted the second annual Allen Entrepreneurship Challenge. The competition challenged Allen Community College students to present their business ideas to a group of local judges.
There's a rubric that breaks down the 4 different pieces that they have to include in the rubric. And then today they're doing their competition where they present their business idea and they do about a 10-minute presentation and 5 minutes of questions afterwards from the judges. That's all on their business idea and if they were to make this an actual operating business.
The competition also awarded 3 prizes and cash, $750 for first place, $500 for second, $250 for third. The wrestling team at McDonald County made history today. The high school treated the team to an exuberant send-off as it heads to state competition with not 1, not 2, but 3 female wrestlers ready to compete. For the Mustangs coach, the occasion proved to be a special one.
I mean, this is an exciting year from that standpoint, getting our first not only state qualifier, but 3 on our girls team. And like I said, Coach Davis, all the props to him. He's put in a lot of time and effort getting this girls program where it is, and along with our coaching staff, and I think just hopefully setting the standard that this isn't just a boys sport anymore.
The high school will also send 2 returning state champions on the boys' side to defend their titles at state competition. Later in sports, regular season basketball is coming to a close for area high schools. John's going to have highlights from the Cardinals versus Bulldogs in a few minutes. But first, volunteers in Barton County, Missouri roll up their sleeves to help preserve some abandoned cemeteries. A Barton County, Missouri organization today held a meeting to discuss the preservation of at-risk and abandoned cemeteries in the county. Not Forgotten Barton County Cemeteries takes care of more than 75 cemeteries. Today's meeting at Memorial Hall in Lamar was a chance for residents to learn about the group and how they can help.
Cemetery preservation is really important because these historic landmarks are really a part of the fiber of our community. These are the places where our forefathers are laid. They're the places where the people who made our communities what they are today are resting with their families, and really honoring the memory of those people that came before us is so important so that we don't make the same mistakes. We can learn so much from the history that has come before us.
The group will host a workday at Minden Mine Cemetery on Saturday, March 9th. A Missouri couple got a special yet unexpected surprise just in time for Valentine's Day last week. Not only did they have their baby boy 5 weeks early, but they got married during labor in the hospital. Alan Shope explains.
We had been engaged for almost a year.
New parents Sarah and Brandon planned to get married last Friday. But on Tuesday, the unexpected happened 5 weeks early.
And my water had broken.
The couple rushed to St. Luke's East where doctors told them.
And she's like, you can't leave the hospital now.
Disappointed, they were so close to their wedding day and it wasn't going to happen then.
During discussions, another patient down the hall, her husband was an ordained minister.
And he said he would marry them while he was waiting for his child to be born.
We said yes, even though I was in between contractions.
And there wasn't much time. They were told.
You guys have 30 minutes to get ready.
If anybody knows me and Sarah, I always just go along with what she wants to do.
They made a dress out of hospital blankets and a veil out of gauze.
And then we also ended up having a bouquet because they had flowers around the hospital for Valentine's Day.
We're here today to celebrate not only the love and commitment of Sarah and Brandon.
We wanted to be married before our son was born.
Now, since we have a baby on the way, let's get to the I-dos.
And the couple says it all happened really quick. They say they came in on the 13th, got married the night of the 13th, and then just after midnight on the morning of Valentine's Day, they had baby Oliver.
I literally blinked and I was married and a dad within 12 hours.
You may kiss the bride.
It was just a feeling of comfort and love and warmth instantaneously.
Couple says baby Oliver is doing well and they hope he's going to be released from the hospital later this week. Doug's forecast is next, and a little bit later, a Frontenac High School student takes a swing at college sports. John tells us about the Raiders golfer making the move to the next level. That's coming up in sports.
Wishes you.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a nice one for us today. Temperatures fantastic, upper 60s to near 70 degrees for most of us. And it looks pretty good right now. Our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower Cam downtown. We're looking through off toward the north and to the east. You can see the flags blowing just a bit. So we have a light southerly wind, and we're going to continue to see that as we go through the overnight hours tonight and then again tomorrow. All right, temperatures, most of us are kind of hovering into low to mid 50s. We'll drop back mid 40s a little bit later on tonight. Southerly winds kicking in. These are fairly light, but these are going to pick up a bit as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. We'll have gusts kind of in that 20 to 30 mile per hour range by tomorrow evening. And then they'll switch around out of the north by Thursday, but still kind of breezy with those northerly winds gusting 15, 20 upwards to 25 miles per hour. All right, pretty much clear skies. Not a whole bunch is going on here. We are going to start to see some mid and upper level clouds increasing ahead of our next storm system, the western third of the country. Fairly strong system. This wave kind of flattens out as it pushes through, but we are going to get some scattered thunderstorms from it as it heads toward us by tomorrow night. It's not going to be widespread, very scattered. All right, clouds increase by morning, mid to upper 40s. We warm quickly, upper 60s by noon. Can see a lot of clouds. As we get into the afternoon, check this out. 73 in Stockton, Anderson, Bentonville, 75. Miami, Veneta, 77, 72 up in Chanute. So fairly warm, actually. Tomorrow night, scattered thunderstorms start to pop up. Look at the time. It's after 10, 11, midnight. These are mainly going to be along and north of I-44. Scattered, strong thunderstorms, could even be low-grade severe, push through. Here's 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then by Thursday morning, we'll have some leftover sprinkles, and then we look pretty good as we go through the rest of the day. Northerly winds, temperatures, a little bit cooler, but still not bad. Highs into the mid-60s. All right, low severe threat tomorrow night, level 1 out of 5. Main threats are going to be hail. These are elevated storms, so not really a tornado threat from 10 p.m. until about 3 o'clock in the morning on Thursday morning. Day planner for you tomorrow, 50 to start, 65 by noon. Look at our high temp, up to 74 degrees. Now, of course, we cool down a little bit Thursday, but still, look at these temperatures. We stay into the 60s on Friday, even into the weekend we stay into the 60s, push 70 by the time we head into Sunday. 74 tomorrow, 64 Thursday, 62 on Friday, back to 71 degrees by Sunday. Thunderstorm chances again by next Tuesday.
Doug, thanks. Hey, eating too much protein could be bad for your arteries. That's according to a new study from the University of Pittsburgh. Researchers found getting more than 22% of your calories from protein can lead to increased activation of immune cells that play a role in plaque formation. It's estimated about a quarter of the population receives more than 22% of all daily calories from protein. Women might benefit more from exercising than men. A new study supported by the National Institutes of Health found women who worked out regularly lowered their risk of premature death by 24%, while men who did the same had a 15% lower risk. The difference was even greater when it came to fatal heart attacks. The study authors suggest variations in anatomy and physiology might account for the differences. And a large new study finds a link between taking prescribed opioids and an increased risk of serious falls. Researchers in Australia found a heightened risk among adults of all ages, but people 85 and older were at the greatest risk. Still ahead, a Frontenac golfer is ready to play at the collegiate level, and Girard girls basketball tries to end Colgan's undefeated season on its senior night. John Dales has highlights from that and more up next in sports. Quick, and I'm inviting.
Hey, welcome into sports. I'm John Dales. Frontenac High School's entire student body gathers in its gym this afternoon to celebrate a classmate who will be competing at the collegiate level. Frontenac High School senior Kaylee Hensley signs with Division III Earlham College to join its golf team. Now, Hensley just began golfing her freshman year of high school, and she explains the recruiting process was a little bit atypical, but it became clear that Earlham was the best place for her.
They kind of sought me out, like I didn't really know a whole lot about them, and they sought me out, and we had a Zoom interview last May, I think, and then I kept in contact with them over the summer and went and visited them, and I love the school, I love the coaches there, and so it was an easy decision to make.
Over to high school basketball, two of our local schools have senior night this evening, including Girard, who hosts Colgan. Now, the Lady Trojans have been the closest ones to beating Colgan this season. Nobody has come within 15 points of the Lady Panthers, except for Girard, who lost by 2 when they first met a month ago. Senior night in Girard, Lady Trojans hoping to spring an upset on undefeated Colgan. Lady Panthers getting ready to play. Early second quarter, Delaney Meek dials up a 3 and connects from the wing. Colgan jumps out to an 18-4 lead. Girard doing its best to stem the tide. Aiden Buckley pulls the trigger from the corner. She hits a 3, lead cut down to 13. Now Lily Brown of Colgan face guarded most of the night. That leaves other teammates open, like Lauren O'Brien, who splashes home a 3. Lady Panthers up 17 at the half. Back to Lily Brown, though, you can try to keep her quiet. Nearly impossible to stop her altogether. She hits this layup off a beautiful backdoor feed from Meek. Then Brown gets hit on the arm, still converts the bucket, plus the foul. Colgan dominates on the road. The Lady Panthers win 56-31. They are undefeated CNC League champions. Girard boys basketball trying to avenge a 25-point road loss to Colgan last month. The Trojans come out firing on all cylinders on senior night. Aiden Troike left open from beyond the arc. He buries the 3. Girard up by 4. Colgan begins this game ice cold from the field. Tucker Harrell on a dribble pull-up. He connects there. He scores 6 of the first 7 points for the Panthers. But Troike goes right at Harrell on the other end. Senior against senior, and it leads to more Girard points. Trojans up 5. Freshman Cam Smith left open from beyond the arc. He hits. That stretches the lead to 8. Then the Trojans on the fast break. Smith, he finds fellow freshman Ben Cullen, who finishes through the contact and would add 1 more at the line. Girard hands Colgan its worst loss of the season. The Trojans win big on senior night, 50-29. Webb City boys basketball tonight on the road, looking to put a damper on Carl Junction's senior night. In the first quarter, Eli Pace passes out to Baron Duda. He sinks a 3. He'd finish the game with 19 points. Cardinals lead by 4, but here come the Bulldogs. Brody Pant has it under pressure, nails the fadeaway jumper for 2. Carl Junction now has the lead. Close game all second quarter. Good passing by the Bulldogs. Jet Mills drives, kicks it out to Jet Hokut. He nails the 3-point shot just before the half. Bulldogs on top by 1. Third quarter now. Webb City opening things up. Omari Jackson, the one near him. He connects on the 3 from the corner. More on him in a bit. Cardinals up by 8. Fourth quarter, Holton Keith finds Jackson. He takes the contact, puts it off the glass, and give him 1 more as well. Jackson finishes with 14 points and 2 assists. Webb City runs away in the second half. They take this one 74-57. The Cardinals had their final home game Thursday against East Newton. Well, the historic rivals, Webb City and Carl Junction, they split the basketball senior night. Webb City wins the boys game tonight. Carl Junction won the girls game last night.
How about that Colgan girls team?
I know.
My goodness.
Undefeated.
Yeah, and in most cases, those wins have been very convincing.
Blowouts, yeah.
We'll be right back.
From the moment.
All right, not as cold tonight. We drop back into the mid-40s for overnight lows. Look at tomorrow, 74 degrees. A little windy, a lot of clouds, some scattered thunderstorms, especially north of I-44 for us tomorrow night. 64 on Thursday, 62 Friday. Check out the weekend. Temperatures up to 71 by Sunday.
Sounds great. Hey, heads up, a satellite is expected to re-enter and largely burn up in Earth's atmosphere tomorrow morning. Yeah, largely. The European Space Agency satellite named ERS-2 has a 15-hour window of uncertainty. In other words, a pretty big window. It has an estimated mass of more than 5,000 pounds after depleting its fuel. The satellite is expected to break apart at about 50 miles above Earth's surface. The European Space Agency said some fragments could reach the planet's surface, but they won't contain any harmful substances and will most likely fall into the ocean. I suppose that would be because most of the Earth's surface is ocean.
Most likely, though, not ruling out that we see some space fragments tomorrow.
Right, maybe falling on your head.
Yeah.
An umbrella won't help you in that event. Final sports notes.
Yeah, a bunch of high school wrestling teams still doing their state send-offs. Tomorrow we're going to be at Fort Scott and Pittsburgh talking to them.
Very good. Morning show at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.